The Detroit Lions.
You know it.
Facing the Los Angeles Rams. Keys to the game. What must these Detroit Lions do to make sure to walk away with the victory? First one for me, I've kind of said this yesterday when we said to buy the numbers. They've got to limit Puka Nacua. And I'm talking about all over the field. I think he's one of the most explosive guys. He's become one of the most explosive guys in the NFL. Whether that's due to him being elite by himself or whether it's Matthew Stafford and the Sean McVay offense, regardless, he's a dog no matter where he gets it. In the middle of the field, the Detroit Lions and the Rams have the most, intermediate passing. The middle of the field, they both eat there. Puka Nacua, I know we have the Yak King and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Puka Nacua was fifth in his rookie season last year. Fifth in the league with Yak. 669 of his yards came in the middle of the field, and most of them came on those breaking routes. 792 of his yards actually came on that breaking route, the little 90-degree one. Detroit Lions got to stop Puka Nacua. I think he's the most explosive guy in that offense, and listen, I talked about it yesterday. The energy is going to be on Detroit's favor, obviously, being Detroit, home field advantage, night game. We can't allow them to take us the breath out of it. You know, when that big play happens for visiting teams and the crowd, everyone's like, oh. We can't let that happen. Puka's got to get shut down. No big plays. He catch the ball. If he catches the ball, it happens. I understand that. But we can't let him to expound on that. Can't make the plays beyond that.
Shout out Easy for the numbers, but I'm glad you brought that up because mine is actually the exact opposite. And all we have to do is go back to last year. Mine is dominate that offensive line, stop the run, pressure the quarterback. Because you know what? Again, I'm not saying I prefer this, but Puka went off, and what happened? The Lions still won. So this team now, obviously you're expecting improvements because the secondary's been overhauled. I'm not putting that as the floor for this team or anything like that. But what I'm saying is that we've seen success and seen it recently to where if you can limit the run game, pressure the quarterback, and just dominate that line, and one receiver like Puka goes off, then cool. You still can win because this Lions offense is that elite. So I'm not saying that that's not important, but to me, I actually had keys to the game as the opposite because we've seen them win despite several wide receivers going off and putting up crazy numbers. So to me, I'm not really as concerned with the wideout success. I'm more looking at internally what they do in the trenches.
I'm not even speaking multiple wideouts. It's Puka Nacua just in general. Don't give them any type of momentum. Yeah. That's where it's going to come from is Puka. Maybe he can have little increments here and there, but the big chunk plays are going to come from him. Yeah. Because Kyron, he would be it in any other situation, but against Detroit Lions, second best run defense in the league, it ain't happening here.
Yeah, punt returner, Kyron Williams.
Yeah. Talking about that run. Talking about that run defense, fellas, that's where I'm going to go with this one. I think the most important key to this game for the Detroit Lions is their goal line defense, specifically against third-round draft pick Blake Corum. 28 touchdowns last year. He was automatic bowling ball. Give it to him for the 1 to 2 yard touchdown punch. We need to be able to defend Blake Corum in a goal line situation. That's my biggest key to the game. 28 touchdowns is no joke. That offensive line, obviously probably not going to get the same push as Michigan's offensive line last year, but 28 touchdowns is no joke. Dude finds the end zone. There's a reason he went in the third round without having great hands. It's because he can get into the end zone. That's a big key to this game, is not allowing him to do so.
Motown can mean one of two things. Motor City or the legendary music label. Yeah. There's a legendary music artist known as Dewey Cox. Walk Hard is the movie. What the Detroit Lions got to do on Sunday, though, is run hard. The Rams, I looked it up, they ranked 22nd when teams rush the ball under the center. However, in play action, they ranked 22nd again. I think we got to establish that run. So we set up the play action, then we can start to see those explosive plays from Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown. And play action, tight ends eat for sure. A Sam Laporta. They got to establish that run early and often run hard. Caleb?
Yeah, I'm with Chris here on the key to the game. I think Puka Nacua might just end up being one of those receivers where he's always going to get his. He's always going to get his 6 catches for 90 yards. He might just be that good. So if that happens, you got to dominate the trenches. You got to dominate at what you're good at. You got to control the run game. You got to control the clock. If we can do that, and Puka has a nice game, but we win, I'm good with that.
I guess the reason why I didn't expound so hard on the run defense is we've
Yeah,
been
we've
spoiled.
seen
But yeah, it comes expected, you know. And like we still have, I mean, we still win the games with the run defense being what it is, and the pass defense being what it's not. But yeah, I expect them to stop the run. That's what you can question AG on many things.
Yeah.
One thing you can't question on him is stopping the run.
Yep.
Big
Yeah.
facts.
And that adds to the linebacker play too. I'm excited to see
Yeah.
Enzo back. I'm excited to see an resurgence from Jack Campbell, Derek Barnes. I think those guys have big games too.
Yep.
AG, what's the key for you?
I said this earlier. It's the defensive line, man. The Rams' offensive line got a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Alaric Jackson suspended, Havenstein and Jonah Jackson both questionable. Jonah playing center for the first time in his career. And no disrespect to Kyron Williams or Blake Corum, but the Lions had a number 2 rush defense last year without DJ Reader. And DJ Reader, I believe, will get snaps in this game. Will he play a ton? Probably not, but he will be out there for some key snaps. You got to destroy that offensive line of the Rams. Get to Stafford, put him on his back. You control the game at that point. Not really worried about the Lions offensively. They're going to be able to handle that, especially with the injuries that they got in the secondary. It's all about the defensive line, man. Hutch, 2 sacks, loading. I feel it coming, and yeah.
I hate it.
Let's get it.
I got something for you on that one too.
Yeah.
Obviously required Marcus Davenport. I don't want to say it's polarizing. I think he's not big of enough of a name for that to be the case, but I know some people liked it, some people didn't. He's only played 63 out of 99 games available to him. However, when healthy, his career pressure rate is 15.7%. And to put that into context, last year when Aiden Hutchinson was second in the league in pressures,
Yep.
his rate, 14.4. Just a little something put in perspective. That's the guy you're putting alongside Aiden Hutchinson on the same defensive line.
Yeah, man.
And, with these 2 backup tackles, with John Jackson playing, center for the first time in his career. Oh, you got Lee McNeil, and it's looking like, I mean, we didn't say this earlier. We should have.
Yeah.
DJ Reader's questionable. Looking like, I think he'll play, man.
And look here, if Jonah Jackson don't have the game of his life and DJ Reader is out there, look for Aleem, bro. Aleem gonna eat, bro. If they get pressure up the middle on Stafford, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Yeah, I put that on X earlier this week, too. DJ Reader only got like 9 career sacks. 2 of them actually came against Matthew
You can put
Stafford when he was in the Rams uniform.
You put money on him for a sack. You can do that.
Reader?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, I was
No,
gonna say because I was looking for that prop.
I was just saying, like,
I was actually
yeah.
after you brought that up yesterday. I was like, hold on.
He's more known for creating opportunities for the people.
Yeah.
However, like
He can't
for
get
some
there,
reason
but-
that interior offensive line, the Rams, he
got it.
fucking he's on bullion.
Speaking
So-
of, after you.
For me, my second key that I want to get to, and I'm glad you brought up the defensive line because it's to me the secondary, and it's not Terrian, it's not Amik, it's not Carlton Davis, it's those safeties. I'm looking at them because I need those 2 to make plays. I need those 2 to do what they do best, which is be the playmakers that they are, and you're going to need that. I mean, Nick, Microwave Nick, what was his big take? His big take was, Terrian's going to get cooked. But he's gonna have a good game. But you need to be there for those moments because this defensive line I do expect to dominate with all of the injuries that we talked about and the movements and just the fragmented offensive line that the Rams have. So now I'm looking to when Stafford does do what he does best, which is extend those plays and take those deep shots. I expect our elite playmakers, ones that we talked about as all pros just this last episode, Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, I expect them to make big plays.
Hell yeah, Chris. I absolutely love that. And second point here, defensive line that we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's the Rams defensive line. They got young, hungry guys. Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, Kobe Turner. These guys are hungry. I want to see how Zeitler, Glasgow, and Ragnow handle the pressure from the interior of Fisk and Turner. Those guys are pretty damn good. Yes, they don't have Aaron Donald. We all know that.
Yeah.
But these guys are super young, super hungry. I want to see how our new Pro Bowl right guard, Kevin Zeitler, looks in this game by holding up our quarterback in Jared Goff, because we know when he's comfortable, he's going to thread the needle. He's going to hit players and give them room to run after the fact. If we can make sure Jared Goff is comfortable Sunday Night Football in Ford Field, we're going to win this ball game.
That's a big one for me, too. And to be honest, too, even with Aaron Donald, going back to last year, mind you, he's the best defensive lineman to ever do it, some might argue. But even last year with him, they only applied pressure on like 6.4% of dropbacks. That's with Aaron Donald. Now we have 2 fresh faces. I was a fan of Brandon Fisk, and I was a fan of Jared Verse. But we got the fucking the Joes and the X's and O's when it comes to Ben Johnson, this offensive line. I'm not really pressed over them. And the
They
fact
rookies.
that Ben Johnson's offensive scheme is just so complicated for guys that have been in the league as long as they have.
Yeah.
These new guys, as fired up as they may be, as high projected they're supposed to be as players, pros, night one, it ain't happening. It ain't happening.
I
I have
hear you.
Penei Sewell, Frank Ragnow, Ben Johnson gonna make goddamn sure of it. Jared Goff, if he gets touched, it might be one time.
I have another one to add to Easy, and this is one that I just looked at when I was looking at every position across both these teams. It is the linebackers, and as you know, the Rams lost their lead tackler in the middle of the field, their linebacker. So now I know that the Lions are going to win the offensive line battle because the Lions' offensive line is the best in the NFL. So I'm not breaking new ground here with that. But that second level, the linebackers, you just lost your lead tackler. So my keys to the game are Gibbs and Montgomery, specifically Gibbs with his elusiveness. Man, he's going to have a field day. He's going to have a field day. If they don't got people that can really tackle like that,
Yeah.
man, those two are going to eat. Those two are going to eat.
Caleb,
So
I can't tell if you
attacking that
decided to
middle
say
of the
something or it's the beer that got your cheeks red. What's up?
No. I'm Nick brought it up a
break.
little bit. This is another big game for Jared Goff. This is
Ooh, talk about it.
you get Sunday night football against your former team again. That's coming into your house that you helped build. And they're coming in for a revenge game because you beat him in the playoff last year. Jared Goff is going to show everybody why he's worth the 212 and why he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league.
Let's get it, baby.
Yeah.
Detroit Lions W loading.
Yes,
Listen,
sir.
I thought it was going to be a good game. It still might be a good game, but just the defensive line conversation by itself, whether it's running the ball or just keeping JG clean, the weapons, Jameson Winston,
Yeah.
just hyping up.
Lions have the advantage
Yes.
for sure. And my second key would be the secondary can't fail. And I mean that in the sense that Terrion, he's going to get beat. I mean, let's just
Yeah.
be realistic. He's a rookie, but I do feel like he'll get better with time. But eventually, this Lions secondary does have to show itself. If they're one-dimensional, then they have to step up and make plays, man. Like you said, Puka Nacua, you can't necessarily let him go off. Like, he's going to get his, but Cooper Kupp, he's got to be eradicated. He can't go off for that much. I mean, this is not last year. This ain't Kendall Vildor back there, So I expect them to limit the damage a little bit. They're going to be one-dimensional. Make sure they do not kill you through there.
And a lot of people, like at first looking over the game, but what had me, two things had me nervous. First and foremost, I'm just not going to disrespect what Matthew Stafford's been in the Sean McVay offense. Is going there, it's lethal. He is one of the best to do it, to be honest with you. Like in the game right now.
You are trash!
Two, last year that game was a lot closer than people like to remember. It was a 1-point game.
Yeah.
And it come down to that final throw, the little 7-yard out, or not even out, the comeback for Amon-Ra to close it out. But regardless, they took a step back on defense. At least we're assuming so. Even experience against this offensive line, they're not going to prevail in any way.